train is running.
And I'll say Evan.
That's good. You're 4, but I don't have to.
It's a win.
So what's going on, Bobby?
All right, guys, welcome to Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. That is right, the Dolphins football playoff weekend, the ultimate underdogs. I'm your host, Bobby Fins Talk, and that right there is the one and only Fish Tank Hank. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Man, it is hyped. It is the Dolphins are there. Listen, we talk about records all day. Fishing, I think, had 13-3-1. I was 10-7. Dolphins did 9-8, but guess what? They did what we said they were going to do. They're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. First off, before we go to everyone tuning in, Fish Tank, how the heck are you?
You know, Bobby, I'm doing great. It's like when you go take your car for an oil change and then you feel like everything's all right again. I got a couple shots in my foot the other day. I get those every 6 months to a year so that I can walk a little better. And I'll tell you what, you wait about 30 days and see if it works or not, because then, I'm trying to find out if I have a torn ligament or something. So if that doesn't work, they're going to MRI it and see what they can do. But we're in the playoffs, so none of that really matters now, does it?
That's correct. That is it. Nothing matters. Everybody talks about this regular season, all this whatnot. It doesn't matter. Remember, it is 0-0. Everyone in equal footing. It is time for the playoffs. And guess what? In the playoffs, this is where zeros become heroes. This is when underdog stories happen and things happen. They shock the world when boys become men and regulars become legends. It's just exciting. And so let me just say, first off, Cap for Life. Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, check out DolphinsThirsty.com.
Fins up, everybody.
The Dolphins Daily, weekdays on his YouTube. Chris in the house. TD on location. Dolphins stun the Bills 21-20. We already got some predictions in here. Loving it.
Yeah, I see some of them.
21-18 Dolphins, 25-22 Fins.
Right
Steve,
on.
Evan Posner, everybody tuning in. Thank you. Smash that like and subscribe button. And whether you're watching Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, we appreciate you. So, Hank, it's just listen. We're going to talk about postseason, but let's run this very quick with the season.
All right.
Miami last offseason went through a lot of changes. Head coaching. They fired Flores after going 9-8 and just missing the playoffs. After he made 8-1, fired Flores, shocked the world. Everybody was critical of Miami. It was blowing up. Oh, how could they do this? They tried to make something big happen. Didn't work out. So they say, okay, hire Mike McDaniel, their new head coach. Then Tyreek Hill becomes available. It was between the Jets and the Dolphins. The Dolphins get aggressive, and they go get the best wide receiver in football, the best player on the Dolphins right now in Tyreek Hill. They signed Terron Armstead. They made a lot of moves. Yes, sir, Tyreek. This season started off. It's been an up and down season. It's been a streaky season. 3-0.
Yeah.
0-3, 5-0,
Definitely.
0-5, and then 1-0 to finish it out.
Yeah, so which means we're on another streak. I just hate to point that out, but
we're on another streak. So even though, listen, even a lot of people had high expectations for this season. Dolphins finished with the same record they did last year. Difference is, even though they're 9-8 this year and 9-8 last year, they're in the playoffs. It went their way. That's okay. We want it to be where you and I both would love it, I'm sure, the one day the Dolphins just to get in because they got in. They won. They didn't have to depend on nobody. But it happened the way it did. Who cares? We're in. We're in the game.
That's right.
So no one outside of Miami. We're going to talk about that later. I got Palm Beach Post. They got all the things, and we're going to go over everybody's prediction. No one outside Miami Dolphin fans are picking the Dolphins to win this game. They're currently 13-point underdogs, Fish Tank. So and now Tua's officially out, and more than likely he's done for the playoffs. I mean, it is what it is. Skylar Thompson, the 7th round pick, is going to start his first. He won. He didn't blow up. His numbers weren't crazy. 152 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, but he didn't cost us the game. Game manager did his job. He's leading this team into the wild card matchup. Hank, obviously, we should be excited for this playoff game. No one's picking Miami, the experts. So should fans just accept this as a loss?
Let me tell you something, folks. Miami has NFL players on their team. So does everybody else. They are the best of the best that are on the field. I don't care if they're in a backup position or where they're at. They are NFL players. And on any given Sunday, they can step it up and win. Okay? Miami has yet to play a complete game also. Miami has always been lagging somewhere where they are not a complete team on the field. And I would just love to see it happen magically in the playoffs. That would be so awesome. I don't know what's going to happen. The odds are against us. Yes, everybody gets it, yada, yada, yada. But there are ways that Miami can win, and we'll get into that.
There is. And, one of the key things, obviously, you said it before last year or before this season. It starts, it ends with the quarterback. The Dolphins quarterback this season, starting out, was Tua. A lot of question marks, a lot of things in regards to can he, take that next step with Tyreek and Jalen and Mike McDaniel? Can he lead this team? Can he win, in the cold weather? Can he do this? And can he do it consistently? He answered a lot of questions this year. He proved that he can be a successful starting quarterback in the NFL this year. What he couldn't prove this year is that can he last the season? And that sucks. So at one point, 8-3 in the season, this guy was on MVP conversations. I mean, he was doing really well. That 5-game stretch where we were losing, he struggled. And then, of course, the concussion, and now he's not in the playoffs. Yeah. So Skylar Thompson, not Teddy B, Bridgewater, he is out, finger injury or whatever. Skylar Thompson is starting for us. The Dolphins beat the Jets. It wasn't very sexy, 11-6, only 11-6 score. It wasn't throwing touchdowns, and it blow it up. But really, you're facing the top 3 defense in the NFL with the Jets. Offense is a different story. So the Dolphins were able to score enough on the Jets defense to win the game. 11-6. Skylar Thompson did do nothing to wow anybody. So I could understand people being in their feelings and in doubt on Skylar.
Bobby.
Go ahead.
When I was at the game.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you heard it on TV or not, but everybody was yelling at him, throw the ball. Because he was hanging on to it so long. Everybody was screaming at him, throw the ball.
And that's the thing. He holds the ball too long. We know that.
Yes.
And that's what more than likely got Tua hurt again. Is just holding that ball way too long. And
I think he was trying too hard not to make mistakes, not to cut you off. But I think
No,
he
that's
was trying too hard not to make mistakes when he was playing the game. And I think that's why he was holding the ball so much. He didn't try to run it. He just tried to not get tackled and try to wait till somebody was open downfield every time. So
I think you're right. And again, that's why I tell people, you got to think about this type of game, first of all. This kid, we could say, simplify the offense. This kid, 7th round pick, rookie, okay, whether he was a 1st round pick or not, but he's a 7th round pick, a rookie, playing as a 3rd string quarterback, playing in what essentially was a playoff game.
Yeah.
The season was on the line. And it wasn't guaranteed you were going to make it. You had to hope the Patriots were going to lose, but you needed to do your job and win this football game. You cannot make mistakes. He goes in there, and again, 20 of 31, 152 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions.
Yeah.
He did his job. He
got it done.
It's everybody. The defense of the Dolphins did well. The running game was doing well. They all together collectively, which it is, it's a 53-man roster. It's not one guy. That's why then when it comes down to this playoff game, Fish Tank, it doesn't come down to one guy. It's 53 guys. So
it's got to be a complete game, Bobby. It has 100%. To be.
We've been asking for that all season.
Season.
Defense has a good finish or a good game. Offense has a good game, but it's never a collective effort. It's never all 50. It's not
or special teams has been off.
So it has to be this week. In regards of Skylar Thompson, Fish Tank, third string quarterback, 7th round pick. You've seen what he's done. We have a little bit of what he's been able to do during the regular season. Do you think he has what it takes to shock the world on Sunday, tomorrow?
I think he's an NFL quarterback, and this is now his 3rd game. Okay? I think you give any NFL quarterback 3 games, and he's watched the Miami and the Buffalo battle go back and forth himself and kind of been a part of it. So I think he's watched the defensive units. I'm sure that they've gone over everything with this kid that there is, but he just has to make decisions, to be honest with you. He has got to make a decision and go with it. He can't do what he did the last game. And if he does make those quicker decisions, I think that he'll do just fine. And I believe Miami will be able to make things happen with him, definitely.
I like it. And, I'm seeing in the comments, first off, Jambo Comics, thank you for tuning in. TD on location, we appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in and appreciate your comments. Steve says that Skylar is leading the Dolphins to the Super Bowl. Chris says, yes, he did it in the preseason. He can do it again. Armstead, and that's the thing. Armstead, if he plays, that will make a huge difference. I agree. I think Armstead is just as important as Tua. And if you put Armstead in there, that's going to help your O-line and that's going to help your rookie quarterback big time. So, and I think he's practiced. John Jess, thank you for tuning in. John Jess says, Miami Dolphins play and have fun because all the pressure is on the Bills to win. I mean, the Bills do not want the Dolphins beating them because they would lose their minds. You know what? You're right. The Dolphins have nothing to lose tomorrow. The Dolphins are
They're going all out, man.
That's my thing. They're the underdogs. And you know what? They're going to continue to be the underdogs all throughout the postseason right now, especially with the quarterback. Sons of Liberty.
Tyreek said he's not used to being the underdog, so we'll see how that plays out, huh?
That's right. And, I know there's a lot of questions and a lot of talk about the offseason, but we're going to keep that for the offseason in regards of what can Dolphins do. But right now it's about the postseason because we're in there. And so, listen, I think Skylar has shown that he has the potential to have a good game or a great game, tossing the ball. He doesn't – I would not be comfortable. I mean, I don't want you to limit him at all. It's time for to do what you can do to win a football game. The defense needs to come up big in this football game. They need to hold Josh Allen in that offense. and they need to keep them off the offense. What they need to do is keep Josh Allen off the field. That's their best defense. Control the clock. Yes, big plays if you can get it, but reality is you got to run the football. TD on location says, we got to run that Wildcat. I wouldn't mind seeing that. The Dolphins need to open up that playbook.
Yeah, open the whole thing up and let it go, McDaniel. You have to. You have to. Do not hold back now. Open up that book. Let it fly. Run the ball. Whatever it is you have, now is the time to do it. I don't care what kind of scheming it is, as long as it's winning. So hopefully, like everybody says, everybody wants the ball ran. I get it.
This is when, all season when we do these shows or when we watch these games and, everybody had high expectations, especially for the offense. And when the offense, even in a win, underachieved, there was a lot of arguments of when we go, damn, but man, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. And we were going off on it. And, and then we go, win's a win. There are some people go, man, it's a win. Who cares? During the season, I could see caring how we won. And man, if we don't fix this, it's going to hurt us in the end. When it's playoff time, a win is a win. I don't care how it gets done. If we win 11-6 against Buffalo and it was an ugly game, but we won, a win's a win. We shocked the world. And then they're not going to I don't want anybody to think that anybody's going to choose Miami they're out the playoffs. They're not. We just got to get used to it. The fact of the matter is that it's up to Miami to shock the world right now. Jambo Comics.
Welcome, Jambo.
Yeah, just sub to the channel, man. We appreciate you. That's awesome, man. California in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, we want to see preseason Skylar. It's been a crazy season.
Yeah, we didn't give up yet. There ain't no giving up here. I don't give up. There's reasons why we can win. And, it's one thing to be an underdog or whatever in everybody's mind. But, again, we have a team that can actually put a lot of points on the board.
That's
right.
And
it doesn't have to all come down to the quarterback. And the biggest thing we have to look after, like Bobby already said, is the quarterback on the other side rather than worrying about the one on our side.
That's right. And listen, Dolphins Thirsty, he says, you're a head coach in the NFL. Your team just won the toss in overtime with the new overtime rules in place where both teams get a chance to, if a touchdown is scored, do you kick or receive?
I receive.
Yeah, because you could score your touchdown and then you just want your defense to stop. I think that's a fair point. For me, I think I would kick it and get my defense to stop it. So then I know if they didn't score a touchdown, all I got to do is either kick a field goal if I can't score a touchdown. So for me, I would kick it and then get my defense to stop them. If the defense doesn't stop them, then you have to get a touchdown to keep it going. But if your defense could stop it and you trust your defense, then it only comes down to a field goal and a touchdown. Great questions from Dolphins Thirsty.
Depends on which one's actually clicking that day too. I mean, you could have
fair.
your offense
100%.
going off, and you take the ball first.
That's right.
That's the way I was thinking.
That's right. I think that's absolutely fair. Go ahead here. Tortoise Johnny, thank you for tuning in. Tortoise says, rolling pocket, throwing short for yak attack. Hey, you know what? And that's the thing. You don't have to air it out for Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. 10-yard outs, 15-yard outs. Let them gain the yards. That is key. That is a great point. Fish Tank, are you frozen on your end?
No.
Okay, it looks like you're frozen on mine. But that's okay. I hear you loud and clear. Guys, is Fish Tank frozen or I'm frozen?
I'm frozen.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not losing connection.
Want me to leave and come back?
You can. I hear you loud and clear, but yeah, it's a nice little picture for everybody to see. But Hank will come back in just a second. He is frozen. Okay. California, man. Fins up, brother. Good to see you. He is chronic. Yeah, that's right. He's chronic. That's awesome. But I want sudden death rules back way better. Man, Mr. Finisher, good to see you. In regards of overtime rules, for me, it was an off and on because I couldn't understand when teams get mad that they didn't get an opportunity to get the ball and all that. For me, it's if you're just going to do it like that, I would rather just add an extra quarter, kind of like soccer, 2 extra quarters, limit the time, and then do a sudden death, But Fish Tank is back. Evan says you were cryogenically frozen. That's why you stay so young.
Yeah,
Wings.
that's why I stay so young.
Son of Liberty, man. Thank you for tuning in. He says Buffalo wings getting fried tomorrow. Oh, that's great, man.
Right on.
You got to football, brother. It's
Liberty.
awesome. That
right
is awesome.
Hey, Chris.
Chris, always. Chris is awesome. Everybody tuning in. Thank you so much.
Great.
You're watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. So TD on look, the referees are under fire by the NFL finally. Yep. Well, that's why things are getting a little stingy nowadays, with the NFL and health and playing right and being smart. So, Hank, we got plenty to talk about, but it looks like we're moving fast. But we're going to go over to other playoff games. Then we're going to get into our game. Okay. But let's first talk about keys to victory. Okay. And Evan, yes, sir. Thank you. Channel is the best family. Got a great team on the Fins Talk Sports Network, growing. It's going to be awesome. Got a lot of cool things going on. Fish Tank, in order for the Dolphins to pull off the unthinkable, to continue this underdog story, what are your 3 keys to secure a Miami Dolphins victory?
Well, first and foremost, the defense has got to contain, sack, and intercept Josh Allen. We have got to control Josh Allen in this game. You can't let him run on you, because last time half the yards they got were from Josh Allen. We can't have that happening again. That's key number 1, is contain Josh Allen. Key number 2, Miami's offense has got to come alive balanced. We have to have balance on offense. Stop getting in 3rd and long. Stop getting in 4th down in our own area, in our own backfield, and having to come back from the depths of hell every time we get the ball. We need to be able to advance the ball, and Skylar Thompson's a big part of that. So that big part of it is, for me, Skylar has to make quicker decisions, in my opinion. He cannot hang on to the ball like that anymore. The Bills will tear him up. So, key number 3, Miami has got to play a complete game. Special teams, offense, defense. They haven't done it all season. They've got to do it now. If they don't do it now, the Buffalo Bills will have something to say.
I think that's all fair. And the guys up here, Evan of the Fins bandwagon and the Dolphins post-game show and just Fins Talk Sports Network in general, because he's all over the place. He's no turnovers, no penalties, and manage the clock.
Penalties are huge. And you know what else is big every time, Bobby? We give up huge yards on 3rd and long.
Yeah.
We can't do that, D. We can't do that.
We can't.
Not tomorrow.
Heavy package, run the rock, and Tortoise, that is a great point. And, for me, my keys, and it's that, I know, yes, you have the weapons to be that's why it was so frustrating with this offense, first of all, because we have these weapons passing the football with Tyreek and Jalen, and oh my gosh, this is going to light it. This could light up the scoreboard. And it did for a little while until defenses said, wait a second, that's all they're doing. They're not running the ball. This is a one-dimensional offense. And then the Dolphins got exposed, and that's where we couldn't figure out we were losing. Then when you see right now, especially towards that last game, the Dolphins ran the ball, and guess what? Running it was enough. Running it won the game. You got it for this team against Buffalo tomorrow. What they need to do, in my opinion, is you gotta, what Tortoise Johnny just said, pound the rock, run the football, control the clock. The best defense for Josh Allen is keeping him off the field. Keep that Buffalo offense off the field. And then when they are on the field, the second key is defense. Defensive line, Jalen Phillips, Zach Sealer. If Bradley Chubb's going to play, I'm not sure if he will. but you need to get to the quarterback, make your presence known, force him to make those mistakes. Xavier Howard, come down with the football. You know, he did good last week. I'm not going to take that away from him. I don't care if it's against Joe Flacco and the Jets offense.
Hey, he's listed with no injuries this week.
That's right. But he had a good game last week. He held up. He didn't get any turnovers. But tomorrow, be that lockdown corner. Don't be just the ball hawk. But we would love to see some ball hawk. Take away the football.
We need our no-name secondary to come alive.
That's correct. The defense has to play a perfect game tomorrow. And then thirdly, yes, penalties. Limit the penalties. Limit the turnovers. Do not give Buffalo any chance to capitalize on a mistake. You know, and any points you could get it. You know, if it's a field goal, if it's a touchdown, you get the points. You cannot risk going off the field with no points against a Buffalo Bills team that's top 10 offense, top 10 defense.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Agree.
We need that no-name defense, California. Chris agrees.
That's what I was saying. We have a no-name secondary other than X.
Yeah, and Bradley
That's
Chubb.
right.
Bradley Chubb, who's new to the team, he's been on the Broncos. The Dolphins made a major trade. He is top 10 in the NFL as a pass rusher, I think. But Miami, he hasn't really shown enough for fans to be happy with him. But if at any game where he needs to show up to prove to Dolphin fans that this was a successful move, even though it's just half a season, it has to be this game. It has to be on this run. This is the most important run.
We've got to do it.
The Dolphins have gone 3-0, 0-3, 5-0, 0-5, 1-0. Let's make this 1-0 a 5-0. Let us get, and think about this. As Skylar, I'm tired of talking about Jay Fiedler. Man, I have no hate on Jay Fiedler. I get where you're coming from. Jay Fiedler, that was the quarterback of my childhood because Marino retired a couple years until me watching Dolphins because I was young. And then 2000, and of course I had Jay Fiedler. So I have no hate on Jay Fiedler, but I'm with you. I want to see some playoff wins. I want to get that. That's my and Hank knows this. That's my bar for this season. I'm not happy making the playoffs, especially the way we made it in regards to that. And I don't mean that in a bad thing. I don't mean that I'm not happy we made it.
We just wish they came in with a little more clout than they had and a little healthier.
That's right. But what would make this a successful season for me, Fish Tank, is if they win a game in the playoffs. And I know the odds are against them.
Especially if they win against Buffalo at home.
Shock the world, be the spoiler, kick out Buffalo, and then, hey, think about the week after when Tyreek goes against the Kansas City Chiefs and has to prove that he made it. Think about those storylines. There's so many storylines with the Dolphins right now. It's a Cinderella type of story that could happen. And I'm not saying, hey, one game at a time, but hey, it's there for the making. Let's talk.
What do we got, Bobby?
So,
bring me into something.
And look, guys, usually we do 30 minutes, but it's playoff. It's a playoff edition. We're talking wild card. We're talking Dolphins. But let's continue here. And you guys put your comments in there. If you got questions, we'll come back and look at them. We're going to make this fun and interesting. Fish Tank and I are excited. We're in the playoffs in our second run. Ralphie boy. Love my Ralph, man. But let's talk the wild card, and then we'll get into the Dolphins, okay?
All right.
Today. First round starts today, the first round of wild card matchups.
Yes, sir.
The Seahawks versus the 49ers. That is at 4:30 Eastern time. Yeah. Fish Tank. Seahawks have really shocked a lot of people this season. They lost Russell Wilson. He went to Denver. Everybody was like, oh, Denver's going to be one of the contenders.
Yeah.
They're pretenders. Russell Wilson flops. Geno Smith, comeback player of the year. Who do you have in this game, Seahawks versus the 49ers?
The Hawks are going to squawk. They are going to lose to the Niners. They are going to lose to the Niners. I hate, it's just how I feel.
And I'm with you.
The Niners are playing
they are
some nice football right now, and they're probably the most dangerous in my opinion.
Yep, and I think, that number one defense and that offense did not miss a beat with Brock Purdy starting. Nope. It just tells you what their coaching staff is about and how they progress. And, so I go with
tells you how good the team is overall.
That does. It tells you 100%. And you know what? So I got the 49ers as well. I wouldn't sleep on the Seahawks just because the Seahawks have done enough. And, Pete Carroll is one of the better coaches in the NFL. But, no, I got
Absolutely.
the 49ers winning this one.
Yeah. Sorry,
Rob,
I just can't take it away from them right now.
No, absolutely. Rob has it as well. Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com has the 49ers over the Seahawks. Now, later this evening is a big game. The Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, two of the young stud quarterbacks of the NFL. You got Justin Herbert and the Chargers versus Trevor Lawrence, who's really come into is growing as a star quarterback in the NFL with the Jaguars. That's tonight, Fish Tank. This is a big game, my man.
Yes,
Who do you have? Is it the Chargers or the Jags tonight?
Well, as they say in the UK, the Jaguars. I have the Jaguars.
Whoa.
Winning at home.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I can't fault you for that. I actually think that would be very cool because it's a Florida team, first off, and I was born and raised in Florida, even though I'm diehard Dolphins. But I would be happy for the Jaguar fans after having to deal with Urban Meyer and his crap last year. That fraud, so
look who they got, though. We wanted him.
Yes, I know. I know. Don't remind me, Fish Tank. How dare you, sir? How dare you? I wanted that dude.
That's all right.
That's okay.
All right.
Hey,
we're in the playoffs.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda, but we didn't. It's all good. Jackson, let me read these very quick. Mr. Finisher has it. He goes, Seattle upset. TD on location upset. Sea Chickens. I love that. Dolphins Thirsty has the Jaguars. Chris has
Adam.
Seahawks. TD has the Jacksonville Jaguars. Evan says the Seahawks are going to win. Wow.
Hawks and the Jags. All right. So who else we got?
Look at that. You guys. Okay, guys. So then you got tomorrow, and you got tomorrow, 3 games tomorrow, and you got 1 game on Monday night. Before we get to the Dolphins, which is the first game for tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, let's go to the Giants versus the Vikings. That's at 4:30 Eastern. Brian Daboll, another coach that was on the Dolphins' radar, he decides to go to the Giants. With Jesus, what's his damn name? Daniel Jones and people, ends up doing another thing, turns that culture around, turns the team around, gets into the playoffs. The Vikings with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson, who's right there with Tyreek Hill with those yards and everything else. Big game tomorrow, Fish Tank. Is that an upset? Are the Giants going to upset the Vikings tomorrow?
No, Vikes. Chris has got it right. It's going to be the Vikes. I don't think Cousins chokes this time, Evan.
Yeah, I think it's the Vikings. I think the Vikings are on their way to the NFC Championship, in my opinion. I think the Vikings are the real deal, and I like the Giants a lot. I like the way they're playing football. I'm happy for Daniel Jones. I'm happy for that team in general. But I think their run ends tomorrow. I got the Vikings beating the Giants, and then in the evening, 8:15 Eastern time, you have the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals, the former AFC champions, in a big game.
My daughter's team is the Bengals.
There you go. So where are you leaning here?
I got to go with the Bengals for my daughter.
The Bengals, that's right. So I'm with you. I think the Bengals, let me make sure I'm reading this, guys. I don't want to miss you out. TD on location has the Giants upsetting the Vikings. Thirsty has the Giants upsetting the Vikings. Chris has the Vikings. Evan has the Giants. He says Cousins is going to choke, but we all know, and God love him. You
got the Bucks in there from Thirsty.
Evan is a jinx, so he is jinxing the Giants right now. But then you got Monday Night Football. You got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow.
Thirsty has the Buccaneers winning and advancing and beating the Cowboys. Fish Tank, where is that going?
Wow. I do not like to root against Brady in the playoffs, to be honest with you, but Dallas has a lot going on, to be honest with you. But they drop games too. I got to go Cowboys. Got to go Cowboys.
So I think how you started it, it's hard to pick against Brady in the playoffs. Listen, I was reading a statistic the other day where they were saying that when he loses in the playoffs, he comes back and wins the Super Bowl. He loses and he comes back and wins. And so he lost last year. And so they're saying, oh, maybe this. But I think that's not the case. I think it's one and done this season with the Buccaneers. I think the Dallas Cowboys beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tomorrow night on Monday Night Football and advance. Yeah. New Jersey Fin Fan 3153. Good to see you, brother. Took us 30 years to find a quarterback. We pick the guy with injury history instead of a shirt. Okay, so he's going off on Dolphins. That's okay. We appreciate you watching. We're going to get into the Dolphins game right now in regards of what we think is going to happen tomorrow.
All right.
Chris says Cowboys will shut Cry Brady's mouth. I will be buying Pops a Brady Fins jersey, Evan. We're not going to talk about that till the off season. Don't get Hank started. Don't get Hank started.
Don't get burnt.
We will talk about it, but not now. He said he's going to buy you a Tom Brady Dolphins jersey. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I said. It'll get burnt.
I'm so sorry. So I'm sorry. I've been a Dolphin fan my entire life, but the franchise. We all been Dolphin fans our entire life. We're right with you with the misery. But
tell him, Chris, get on him. Don't let him talk that way to me.
I just hate Dallas, so I always pick against them. That's Dolphins thirsty. Hey, listen, I get it, guys, but you know what? It's Tom Brady. You can't bet against Brady. I get it, and the Cowboys are the Cowboys. But when I look at those two rosters, I feel better about the Cowboys than I do about the Buccaneers in regards.
Yeah, to I'm not a Cowboys fan whatsoever.
I'm not either, but I think they're gonna pull that one out tomorrow.
I think they have too much. They got too much for
them. But let's go to this Dolphins game, and before we go into predictions, let's read off how experts think this is going to go. Fish Tank, you ready? So John Breach. I'm going to read these all off, guys. And hey, listen, right before we close out, let's get some questions or statements out there. If you guys have any questions for Fish Tank and I, put them in the comments. You're watching Fins Talk today, Wildcard Preview, Dolphins Preview on Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. That's the Fish Tank, Hank. I love that nickname has blew up. I remember when I started calling him Fish Tank, and then it just blowed up, and now he's the Fish Tank. And I'm like, that's me. Love it. So, all right.
It's all you, Bobby. It's all you.
Can't do it without you. John Breach of CBS Sports has it Buffalo 30-23. I'm not going to read what they say about it. I'm just going to read the scores. He has Buffalo 30 points to 23. Vinny Iyer of Sporting News says the Bills will win 30-20. Mike Florio, who we all know based off his reporting, is that he's a huge Dolphin fan. He has from Pro Football Talk. He has Bills 34, Dolphins 17. I'm going to read what he says because it's short. Josh Allen versus Skylar Thompson. Sometimes you don't need to see it. You don't need to say anything more. Okay, brother. Jerry Dulac of Pittsburgh Post Gazette. The Bills 33 points. Miami 9. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Greg Rosenthal of NFL.com. Buffalo 27. Dolphins 11. Remember, 13-point underdogs in Vegas. Bill Bender, Sporting News.
They're basically saying Miami can't score any points is what they're all saying.
If I had the audio for Vince McMahon from WWE's theme song, No Chance in Hell, that's what I'd be playing right now based off these right here. Buffalo 34-20 from Bill Bender of Sporting News. Michael David Smith of Pro Football Talk has it 28-13. Nobody here picking the Miami Dolphins.
Nope.
But that was, if you didn't think that was going to happen, you're blind as Ray Charles, God rest his soul. So Fish Tank, we've heard we heard what they've said. We know what the guys in the comments are saying. Statement Bobby was right. Okay.
Yeah, quit reading that garbage.
Sorry. Okay, so who wins tomorrow, Fish Tank? Does the Miami Dolphins shock the world and go on to face Kansas City, or does Buffalo make their run to a championship?
I'm going to tell you now why and how the Miami Dolphins are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It's simple. The Miami Dolphins are going to get after Josh Allen. They are going to contain Josh Allen. They are going to sack Josh Allen. They are going to intercept Josh Allen. That is going to happen throughout the game. Okay, folks? After that, and we get some strip sacks, things of that nature are going to start happening to Josh Allen. Our defense is the key to this game. And I truly believe our defense is strong enough to take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Now, our offense has to score at least 21 points to win this game, a minimum of 21 points, because you know Josh Allen is going to get 2 or 3 chucks down the field for touchdowns. You know it's coming. So, my prediction is the Miami Dolphins 28-21.
Ooh, okay. All right. Damn. I could see that whole Cinderella story narrative dropping. If they score 28 points on Buffalo's defense, I could see that Cinderella, because people are going to go, damn, these guys are scary without.
I only do dabs,
QB1.
New Jersey, but that's all right.
I have it. I think you're right. I think it's going to be defense. The defense is going to have to come up big. I think the Dolphins offense are going to have to control the clock, run the football, and again, like I said, score as many points as you can, whether that's a touchdown or a field goal, and you might not score many touchdowns. What's up, Vince Tailgate, man? Good to see you, brother. He says Miami needs to sling that rock all day. 28-29 Miami. 1-point game.
Yeah.
I love it. Guys, Vince Tailgate, go check him out. Go check his channel. Go like and subscribe. Great dude, man. He's been on before. Appreciate him. Cap for life. Chubb, Wilkins, Holland, Phillips, Ingram,
Right, Cap.
Van
You got it,
Ginkel,
Cap.
Howard, Cater, Salu, Baker, Roberts. The time is now. You're 100,000% right. GTO 69. Good to see you. This is the definition of optimist. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so
Hey, I tell you, you got to look at what we have.
that's true, and that's okay. And for me,
and nobody's looking at what we have. They're looking at what we don't have with Skylar.
that's true.
And they don't know. The whole point is this kid can throw the ball 40, 50 yards too. So
Yep.
it's not like he's inept.
No, you're right. Hey, listen, this is the playoffs are the times zeros become heroes. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying there is a chance it could happen. It's happened before. So when I tell fans, I can understand fans being discouraged or saying, look, guys, we have no chance. This is okay. If you compare what's happening between both teams, I get it. But your team is in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Tomorrow, go in with an open mind, go in with a blank slate. Don't think about what could happen. Think about just enjoy the moment. And maybe Miami might shock the hell out of you and win this football game. And you're going to be on a bigger high than Hank is on most days. So just think about that. So for me, I think this is going to be a defensive game. I think this is going to be a running type of game. I think it's going to be Skylar Thompson is not going to go crazy and have a chance to turn over the ball. I think Jason Sanders is going to earn his stripes like he did last week with that 50 yards on the dot field goal. I have it 22-21 Miami. Advancing.
Whoa.
22-21 by 1 point. They beat the Buffalo Bills and shock the world. So
Tortoise says 0 chance this offense scores 28 points. No, it's not the offense that's going to score. It's the defense.
That's what Hank said. 17-13. Jambo Comics has
Strip
it.
sacks,
Miami.
interceptions, things of that nature are going to happen this game.
Chris has it 24-17. Hopeful says, don't let two and ears take away from the excitement. Skylar earned this moment last week. Skylar earned his moment, and you're right, brother. You're right. No one should take away for his thing.
But Miami's proved that they can run on the Buffalo Bills defense too.
And let me just say this. Skylar had earned his right when he was drafted the 7th round. He earned his right when he got drafted for this moment. When you're an NFL player on a 53-man roster and you make the cut, when usually now teams carry 2 quarterbacks and decided to keep 3 because of what he did in the preseason, that's when he earned his right to start this football game. Tua couldn't be healthy for this game. You can't blame him. You can't blame someone for their health. It is what it is. Teddy got injured. It is what it is. Skylar earned that right.
He just got called a homer.
Oh, my goodness. Who would have thought, right?
Bobby, you're no longer a realist. You're now a homer.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good, NG New Jersey Fins. We appreciate you. Hey, you know what? It's a new day, brother. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen. It may not be likely, but it could happen. Let me say Fins tailgate real quick. Buffalo has everything to lose right now. If the Bills win, it's what's supposed to happen. They have been Super Bowl favorites all year. If Miami wins and not only kicks the Bills out, but derail the whole franchise forever, it will derail their franchise. That's true. Miami has nothing to lose. If they lose, it was expected for them to lose. If Buffalo loses, that's gonna really damage the ego. And then Miami's gonna say,
Niners are gonna win it.
I'm holding Bobby hostage.
GTO 69. Niners are gonna win it.
Mr. Finisher says pre-order your 19 jersey right now before they sell out. Skywaller. New Jersey Fins says the Bills will beat the Dolphins 34-16. And that's okay, brother. Everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody has their right to review. And you know what? Again, I can understand that because no one's giving the Dolphins a chance. And why would they? Why would they? It makes sense.
Hey,
I get it.
It's easy to pick the favorite, Jersey. It's easy to pick the favorite. Anybody can do that.
And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But listen, you know what? The Dolphins have split the series with Buffalo already. They're 1-1. And the last time they played, they lost to Buffalo. And I said on this channel, I said it. The Dolphins have one more matchup with Buffalo. I said they're going to face each other in the playoffs. And I have that video, but I'm not going to play it because that's just going to hurt Evan's feelings because he said no. Okay? And I said Miami owes them one. And you know what? I may be wrong, and that's okay. But I think Miami's going to win tomorrow. That's just me. Next week, Hank knows. Hank knows how I roll. You know, I don't just go with it. I say what I believe, and that's where me and Hank butt heads. I might have a different answer next week, but right now, Miami's beating Buffalo tomorrow. That's my point of view.
And Bobby made me a promise, too, that he would go with Miami if they make it in the playoffs, that he would root for Miami in the first round.
Well, yes. So last week, what I had said, what's up, Buffalo Bill? Love your enthusiasm.
Bobby's definitely not a homer for anybody that thinks Bobby's a homer. He's not a homer. You can call me a homer if you want, but.
Well, I would say I'm a realistic homer, but that's just.
I'm a realistic homer. I just root for my team.
You know, I'm going to push back on that a little bit, homie. I'm just gonna, you're a realistic homer on bandwagon. When you come here, you're full blown homer, and that's what I love you about. That's why I love you so damn much. You do it just to drive me nuts. And then when I listen to you on bandwagon, I'm like, where is this fish tank? Because you got all, you're like, damn, you come on me. So, but Buffalo Bill, man, thank you for tuning in.
Well, with you, I can have fun. With Evan, I have to reason.
Steve has 31-17 Buffalo. It's easy to hate your favorite team, and all they do is disappoint you every year. Hey, look, I get it. I'm not going to disagree with you or argue. I understand. It's frustrating, you know. And again, like I told Fish Tank at the top of the show, 9-8.
Cap, I'd rather be a homer than a defeatist also.
Woo-hoo! Sure. But I'll just say this. Listen, Miami, 9-8 last year, 9-8 this year, but the difference is they made the playoffs. And the Dolphins are already 1-1 against Buffalo. So I think they could go again. And we'll see what happens. I'm not saying you're wrong or throwing you or anything like that, brother. You are absolutely right. Us as Dolphin fans, Hank knows it. I know it. I've known it since birth. I've felt all that disappointment and everything. But you know what? We got a lot of talent on this roster that things could happen. There has been miracles. It could happen. But
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. We've predicted it.
It's gonna happen.
That's what it is. Anybody have any questions before Fish Tank and I call it a day for this show?
Before we go and win our playoff game, and then Bobby's going to have this breaking news, something or another, on how we won the game.
First off, we have post-game show.
But I'm probably the only one picking the Dolphins, aren't I? Right? Everybody else is picking the Bills. That's okay. I got the Dolphins.
I think only a couple people picked the Bills to win tomorrow. I mean, I get it. We're all Dolphin fans, so it's going to be majority Dolphins.
No, I'm not saying these folks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying in general, nobody's picking the Dolphins.
Kenna, let me just talk about Kenna for a second, who's been pushing for Skylar to play. And Skylar did, and the Dolphins won. So, and Evan brought it up not too long ago. I forgot which show, but he said, if Skylar lights it up, Kenna can live happy, And so Kenna, from your lips to God's ears, brother, let's do it. Cat for Life. Tua needs to be on the sideline with his team tomorrow. If Hamlin can get cleared from the hospital and be there, the quarterback should be. No excuses. Let's shock the world. TD on location. Gotta love it. Pre-game show tomorrow. No, but we will have a post-game tomorrow. This is kind of our pre-game show for the Dolphins, GTL 69. And hey, brother, I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. We will have our post-game show, win, lose, or draw. That will be with myself, Evan Posner. Neil will be on there, and we will open up the link so people could come on and talk Dolphins. Maybe Fish Tank might join us if he's happy. If he's sad, he might.
Hey, if the Dolphins win, you should be inviting me.
Yes. Well, you're always invited. You know that. Old or young fans will enjoy the 1972. Yes, on the NFL Network, A Football Life, 1972 Dolphins. Take a look at it. It's on there. They played last night. Is Armstead playing? I think he is. I thought I saw him practicing, New Jersey fans, and I know that's huge, brother. If he plays, then it's a little more validation that Miami may have a chance. That's a huge get. But if he's out, it's gonna be tough sledding. But guys, listen, thank you all for tuning in. TD on location, NG Fins 3153. Let me just go through your Huffle, Ben, Evan, of course, Steve, Tyrone, man, thank you. He says Dolphins will win 27-10. California, Tortoise, everybody, thank you all for tuning in, man. And then excuse me, Dolphins Thirsty always. Guys, go check out dolphinsthirsty.com for some great Dolphins content, and of course his channel. We appreciate you guys all. Like and subscribe. You're watching the Fins Talk. You're watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Network. We will be back tomorrow for the Dolphins post-game show. Win, lose, or draw, but it's going to be a win. So appreciate you all. Like and subscribe. Most importantly, Fish Tank, fins up. See you guys tomorrow.